Hi guys, in this one we're going to do a shop tour at Wirral Aquatics, and this is Adam from Adam's 7 Fish Tanks, and he's going to take us around and show you all amazing fish that's in the shop right now. Okay then Adam, show us what you've got in the shop.
Right, no worries. So we've got a fair bit scattered around. Of course, we'll start off with the human fry zone that we've got for the kids. They have a little drawing competition each month, and then the winner at the end of the month is chosen by Steve's children, and they get a little discount. So we've got a couple drawings of the previous winners in the past few months. Of course, we've only been open for a few months now, but yeah, more to come in the near future.
Nice one.
I'll show you the display tank as well that we've got here at the front.
Didn't you escape that?
Yeah, I escaped this one. We've had a little vacuum recently of the Monte Carlo, so it's looking a little ropey, but everything else in there is looking really nice, and it's maturing really well too. We've got a little DIY CO2 kit by Danaway on there. That's just dead easy. You exchange that every month for a new one, and yeah, it's just a nice beginner easy setup, and we do a little bit of liquid fertilising too, with a bit of root tabs underneath each plant as well.
You've done a cracking job of that, mate.
Appreciate it.
It's smart, that actually. I just don't have those skills at all.
It's trial and error. Anyone can do it. Like, you just need to keep going at it and repetitiveness, but I'm still learning myself, to be honest. I don't claim to be an aquascaper at all, but
listen, if you check Adam's channel out, he's got pretty good scapes, he's got good tanks.
Right, so
we'll start here. Especially if you're used to watching my channel.
Yeah. You're a bigger fish keeper.
Yeah, true. I'll take that.
So yeah, we've got a selection of different tanks up top, and we've got some little teddies. These just stick on the side of your tank, and we've got these are the only cold water fish in the shop. We've got temperate, but mainly we're just tropical fish in this shop anyway. So I'll run you around anyway. So we've got our goldfish, arandas and stuff like that. Not my cup of tea personally, but we try and allocate and provide for all types of different fish keepers in the air. Now we've had a massive request.
You'd be amazed though, the amount of people on my videos that ask me, do they do cold water fish?
Yeah.
Still a lot of people into them, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, cold water, it's room for everyone, although like people say cold water, a lot of fish nowadays are just temperate, and it's like room temperature. So we've just got, you know, the weather loaches, different types of goldfish and that. Each of the home, whoever likes these, it's their cup. Personally, I'm a tropical fish keeper with me nano fish.
We know who likes these Stubbs. Stubbs, you watch Stubbs?
Yeah,
he likes them, doesn't he?
And then we've got all our plants here as well. We've got more over there. We're due a delivery next week as well, and they've been cleared out. Had a busy day yesterday. So we've got obviously all the Java fern and easy and mid to range stuff. We try and not go for the harder stuff unless people really want it, because a lot of people around here are just starting to get into the plants, so we're trying to give that advice to them. So for example, something like this, not sure if you know, it's like Anubias. That's something that grows on wood and rock, but a lot of people will buy that from somewhere, put it in the substrate and think, oh, why is it dying? Well, it needs to be attached to something. So
yeah, that's true. I did that when I first started keeping it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you live and learn, and eventually you find and get to grips with whatever it is. We've got different aqua soils and substrates as well for plant keepers. We try and like push this for people that want to grow the plants, but if they can't do that, we do like offer the root tabs and stuff like that, so you can grow things in the substrate. Otherwise, you know, people won't be able to grow plants. When I first started, I had gravel. I whacked my plants in. Lucky enough, they were beginner and easy plants, so they grew for a bit. But eventually, they died off, but they had nothing to feed off.
I definitely know that feeling. What are these there? These little cuties, aren't they?
Got these little musk turtles. We've got some zebra danios in with them as well, just to show people that you can keep these type of fish with them. Because a lot of people, when they see turtles, you think, oh, they're snapping turtles, but they're not. These only grow to the size of your palm, so they don't get much bigger. And because these are fast swimmer fish, you can stay in there with them.
Yeah, can they not catch them?
No, they're way too quick for them. So
they are proper cute, then.
Just showing that, and honestly, they're so personable. They're always climbing up on the top. I've got one there sticking its head out on the rock.
Oh yeah.
And there's one there going for an adventure as well. So we feed them a collective of bloodworm and the pellets dedicated towards them. Also got a bit of decorations too, obviously. For myself, I like my aquascaping, but we try and provide for all types of fish keepers in here. So
well, this is it, isn't it? We might not like these as like the fish keepers we are, but there's a lot of people who like them.
Exactly, and you know, if there's a little kid that comes in, they want the first tank, they don't want to be looking at plants, they want to look at Elsa, or they want to look at Nemo. We've also got some bugs as well. mealworm and all that, so that's all just available for any reptile keepers. We've had a lot of demand for that in the area, so
wicked.
Try to fill in for that demand. You've got our frozen section here as well, so we've got a fair bit of a selection, all the mixed foods, the Malawi foods, baby brine as well. Not a lot of people can obviously hatch that themselves,
I use this.
But the frozen stuff, obviously we try and provide that too. And with myself, I don't have like I have hatchery at home, so this is quite good for myself.
I think the thing is, I'm a lazy fish keeper, so that's really handy for me. So I've got loads of that in my freezer.
Yeah, exactly the same thing with myself. I've got frozen food and dry foods, and I mix around and do the occasional live food, but mainly just frozen and dried. We do have rats in here as well.
You do have what?
Mice.
Oh dear.
Yeah, there you go. That's for anyone with the bigger fish, and obviously the reptiles and snakes and stuff like that. Yeah, the arowana. So we've also got the cockle shells, and it's a good way to introduce our friend here, Kevin.
So our friend will be in the next video, won't he? So we're moving on.
Yeah, we'll pass over him, but we do have some little display tanks up here. So we've just got some guppies. It's just a nice, easy setup.
Nice then.
They're like a rarer type of guppy, so not the standard ones. You've got 1 male, 2 females. Always recommend that, because you don't want the males pestering the females. Yet to have any babies, but
people won't realise that, will they? That actually the males really do pest the females when it comes to guppies.
Even the males with the males, if you haven't got a big amount of them, they will start to pester each other. So it's always good to get more numbers. But when it comes to 2 females and 1 male, then it's okay. As you can see, they're not bothering each other at all. Again, just a nice simple layout with this as well. They're just easy setups for people with the Java fin, the Anubias. Loads of little neons in there, and they're doing well as well in there. But we'll move on over here then. So on this tank here, we've got like a temperate one, so it's like white cloud minnows mixed with a bunch of little bristle noses. Obviously, of course, we've got blue labels, so it's I'll tell you what's going on with the blue labels. So everything with a blue label in store has been locally bred or by a breeder, and we're trying to make sure, Steve's goal is that we want to convert all these labels at some point to blue labels. Obviously, it's quite difficult. Some fish are wild caught, but we do state that on the labels for people who don't want anything that's wild caught. So yeah, this is our only, we've got like a couple temperate fish dotted along, but we're mainly tropical. So just the basic white clouds. A lot of people overlook them. I think they're really
I love
nice
white
fish.
clouds. They're one of the first fish I ever kept.
So easy to keep, and they breed easy too as well. So if you've got a lot of moss, talking about moss, we've got a cherry shrimp in there. We do have a shrimp section over there, but we'll get round to that. So we've got a couple shrimp obviously scattered around the shop that can't be kept in the shrimp tanks because they're a bit rarer than ones over there. Nice nano fish as well scattered round. I know that that isn't your cup of tea when it comes to...
I don't know, I've got some black neon tetras at the moment, and I have got some endless as well, so maybe I'm changing.
You're slowly converting.
Yeah.
I always think nano is great because you could end up with a huge tank, but I love a huge tank and film loads of little fish in, and then there's loads of different personalities, like bottom dwellers, like these pygmy cories.
Well, I've got some pygmies.
They're amazing, and they're like bottom to mid dwellers, aren't they?
Yeah.
I like the way they hover.
They're lively, aren't they, as well?
Got these little green neon raspberries.
Yeah, they're nice then.
And they're dead nice. I think they're called the Kubatai. Talk about the rare guppies. You've got some 24k gold ribbons with some wild caught blue phantoms that come in on the wild order.
Blue phantoms are nice.
They're lovely. They do get a fair bit bigger, but they're a nice little fish, and as you can see, they're grazing on the courgette. Not a lot of fish keepers know that you can actually feed your fish courgette, so we've been showing all the local people around here that you can drop a courgette in with a plant weight and leave it in for
and it's really affordable, isn't it, as well?
Exactly, yeah. It's always good to feed your fish a variety of different foods. We've got our light bearers down here on the bottom too. We've got bare bottom at the moment as we've just gone for a new supplier, so we're testing them out and seeing if everything's okay, and then eventually we'll rescape this one as well. They're all doing great, honestly. Up here we've got something that's actually going to be rare. Yeah, a staple in the hobby, but these are going to end up becoming rare soon.
I believe so.
If you don't know, these are actually being banned from being imported, or restricted, should I say. So we're going to end up having to rely on local breeders with these fish. Considering that they're one of the fish that a lot of people start out with, it's crazy to think that they've become something that is going to be hard to obtain soon as well. We do try and do a variety of different things, like from rare to easy and beginner stuff. These are a fish that not many people will probably know of, the Phoenix tetra. I've done a video on them on like a top 5 rare tetra. You can see they've got a bit of red there with them extended fins. Quite a nice fish to look at, really, considering them for my new Roma, what I'm setting up in a couple of weeks. We've got a couple more.
Which you can see on Adam's channel, by the way.
Thank you very much. We've also got the dwarf frogs too. Not a lot of people know that you can actually keep frogs with fish. Got them in with guppies, you can keep them with fighters, a lot of fish. Quite peaceful, the frogs really. They can be a bit aggro with each other if there isn't a lot of numbers, but we try and keep the numbers up all the time, and if there is a lot more, then we put more hardscape in and make sure that they don't harass each other.
There must be a lot of want for frogs, because I think a lot of shops do them. So is there like a good customer base for them?
Yeah, I think when we opened the shop, we had them in for like a while and no one wanted them, and then suddenly like a week or two ago we sold about 12 in the same day, and I was like, wow, like has someone made the post or something like that? But no, like they're always available, they're always there, and they take bloodworm and live food mainly, the frogs, but they don't really bother the fish. They're quite peaceful, to be honest. As long as you've got enough for them to go up, get the air and come back down. Yeah. Make sure you've got a tight
so they need the air, do they? Yeah.
Yeah, these ones are fully aquatic, so they won't climb out unless you give them an open lid, then they will climb out. But they're perfectly fine in the tank, honestly. We've got all different types of tetras up here too. These Colombian red fins, I think these are quite underappreciated, these ones.
Yeah, I love these, mate. I had about 40 of these in my 7-foot a few years ago.
Do get nice and chunky, don't they? But
yeah.
Again, a nice tetra that not many people
they're really
give
good,
love for.
Good dither fish as well, you know.
Yeah.
I've had these in with all sorts. They take a bit of jip.
Oh yeah, when they get chunkier, I mean, the one of them round the body tetras.
Yeah.
We've also got a puffer in here. We've sold 3 of them, so this is the last one. This is community sold puffer. And these can go in with your tetra, as you can see. They do need to saw the beak down, so you have to give them shells and cockles and stuff like that. But anything with long fins is probably no, but usually all your tetras and stuff like that, they won't bother at all.
Good tip, that really.
We do have our rosy barbs and cherry barbs.
Belts is that?
Nice chunky size they are as well. Got some longfin cherry barbs. They're quite small at the moment, but they get stunning when they get mature. Yeah. These dwarf golden barbs are nice little nano fish that are quite good for smaller tanks, and they don't get anything bigger than that. And a lot of people think barbs that like they're aggressive, but there's quite a few species of barbs that you can actually keep with your fish that have got long fins and stuff like that. Obviously, precaution with all fish, just keep an eye on them if they have got long fins and there's anything pecking at them, but these are relatively peaceful. Here's another one, the locally bred one, the blue acaras, quite small at the moment. They do get bigger, as you know. And someone brought in these mollies recently. They're huge.
They are, aren't they?
The mega ones, I've never seen any that big before, but someone brought them in, so we've got them mixed in the bunch. Got some cories last Steve.
They're nice.
Brought in, they're nice and chunky. Really nice cory. We've got cory scattered amongst most of the tanks, as you can tell. Steve's a catfish guy.
Yeah, so he is, isn't he?
He's got a lot of cory scattered around the shop. Longfin bronze cories there too. They're a nice beginner cory for all the hobbyists. And we'll move along down here as well. Got some longfin electric blue rams.
There's a big thing for longfin fish at the moment, isn't
there? Yeah. I mean, when we ordered them in, we didn't know that they were particularly this
body right, did you not know that?
We knew that they were going to be longfin, but not particularly this body shape. Right. They're a bit more like a balloon.
They're balloony, aren't they? Yeah.
They're still lovely, really nice, pretty fish. Of course, with rams, you need the warmer water. Yeah. And we've got some melanite cories that are quite similar to the skunks there, just sat in the back over there as well. They're a really nice cory. We added some more in, I think, either reticulated, I'm unsure. These are quite the rare ones that he's brought in, so he's got a fish room with all his rare catfish stay.
His fish room's unbelievable, isn't it?
I need to give it a visit, but he said it's getting cleaned up at the minute. Obviously, he's used a lot to put into the shop, so he's been topping up all the tanks with his own fish and breeding them and then bringing them back in and stuff like that. So yeah, it's great, honestly. So we've got a couple more things scattered around, more rams, more tetra and barbs. Obviously the infamous one that gives barbs a bad name.
It does, doesn't it?
But you know, again, I think it's just about having numbers with fish and making sure that it's just trial and error. A lot of people think that some fish are just demons, but you've just got to give it a try. Even with your larger fish, you know, you make sure that everything's okay, keep an eye on things.
I think you're so right on that. It's all trial and error, isn't it?
Exactly.
We just have to do it and try it, and if it doesn't work, I always say, as long as there's a plan B and maybe a plan C as well, you're all right, you can try it.
But again, I always say to anyone that comes in, make sure nothing with long fins.
Yeah.
They will nibble at it, they can be a bit robust. And even with each other, if the numbers are low, then they can end up being a bit nasty with each other, perhaps. But got some more rarer tetra up here too. So we've got the Cope tetra. They won me video too. I love them. They get, when they mature, they get like a super bright yellow to the body with them red fins. They're really nice tetra. These as well, I did keep these. A blueberry tetra, unbelievable fish. I think George Farmer done a video on these. They get about chunky size like that, but bright blue, bright red. That blueberry colour, of course, and the stunning. Now, you're probably wondering...
I'm just thinking about everyone could see that in the background.
Yeah, we've got these rays in here now. Of course, we do 2 water changes a day on these. We're constantly on top of the water. These have been requested in, a lot of fish have been requested in, same with the arowanas and that. And of course, when we first opened the shop, we weren't planning to have bigger fish, but of course, when the demand's there, we've got to...
I think it just evolves, doesn't it? And like you say, your customers want them, and as long as, you know, they've got the right place to put them, why not?
Of course, so we're on top of this tank all the time. We're making sure that the fish are well looked after. We're always doing the water changes. We do also. Well,
you can see with that, it's very lively, isn't it? So it's obviously very happy.
Yeah, this one's lively. The other one likes to hide under the sand.
You can just see the tail.
Yeah, it's funny. This one doesn't like to go under the sand at all. This one likes to dance for us. But of course, there is this one. We make sure that it doesn't go too high. We don't want any jumpers, so I'm going to close that lid over. But there is auto water changes that go on. So when the valve does reach a certain point, it starts to top up the water again, but we're always doing the water changes on this one anyway, making sure they're nice and healthy. This group, they're going
I did catch my eye, that.
And some nice big bristlenose super reds, as you can see, munching on the courgette there as well. And they're a nice little breeding group that we've had in the shop. There's been a massive demand for these, and we've been struggling to get them in through the suppliers. So
you know what, right? I always think, like, especially these in like L183s, that they fetch good money. So I've said to, I think I was saying it to the other day to someone, you want to make some money breeding for profit, get some of these or some L183s, because people just love them.
Well, there was a customer with them bristlenoses back there. They brought in just like hundreds of them, and he said, oh, we were trying to stop them from breeding, and they ended up breeding in Squidward's house from SpongeBob. So like, they just lifted the house up and hundreds fell out of little tiny bristlenose, and they were like, what do we do? And we were like, we'll take them, we can always...
You'll move
make
them
room, yeah, of course.
So it just shows you the SpongeBob ornaments do have a use.
That's what I mean. They do have some use at the end of the day. For us aquascapers, probably not, but got some more types of bristlenose in here too. We've got the RB placos as well. That L23.
Are these are stees? Are they stees? Are they
a mix of stees, but we've got some of his over there as well, the Stardust and that. But we've had some fresh ones coming on a delivery. Some nice cories as well, the orange cories. Rummy noses, my personal favourite, schooling fish. If once I move out and get my fish room, I'm going to have a big tank with them going side to side. A lot of customers come in and like, oh, I want the ons. I'm like, yeah, but how big's your tank? And you got this? And I go, well, if you can get a long tank, probably one of the best schooling fish you can have.
They're lovely as well, aren't they?
A nice variety of some special females.
Nice.
They're really nice, these marble ones. We got them in on an order. The ones up there, they're just resting on the leaves. They like to gasp up for the top, get some air. A lot of people don't know that they actually go up for air, these fighters.
I didn't know that.
So fighters always go up. Same with gouramis, they'll go up to the top, take a gulp of air and go back down. So they're really nice centerpiece fish, especially the females, because the males, they can be a bit aggressive with the long fins and stuff like that. So we recommend the females to people if they want something colourful. We do the standard females too, but these have been super popular.
Going back to what we were talking about off camera before about every day being a school day type thing, you know, like, I'm in here and I've learned about 2 or 3 new things already.
Happy days.
You've got to be a sponge in this hobby, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I'm really happy being in here, like obviously being an understudy and learning off staying, obviously all the new fish that are coming in, different species, different types. It's just amazing to see all these different fish come in all the time and see the different behaviours. And then obviously I've just I'm setting up a new tank, so like I'm going to be spending a fair bit of money. My wages are coming back in here. Yeah, of course, that's what I mean. We've got all our rainbows in here as well, some nice Praycocks, a mix of different others as well. These dwarf blues, they're really nice. got our panda cory scattered around, and there's super white as well. These have been bred by sea. I'll just get them out. For the pleco specialist, these are stunning. We've also got
he's
some
renowned
stardust.
for these, Steve, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we took some of these, the auction, and they were very popular. They are absolutely gorgeous. Look at that.
Them. They are stunning.
I've had to bite me tongue, and
That's
not
the only
get
problem,
any
isn't
of
it,
them.
working in a fish shop?
Oh, honestly, I really want a group of these, but again, maybe when the fish room's set up next year. We've got a scatter of the algae eaters, of course. They're good for the time being, and we've got some killifish too.
Nice.
Killifish are really nice, of course. You've got to make sure the lid's always closed with them. They can be very prone to jumping. Of course, these on this wall here, these were like the medium, like I wouldn't say advanced, but like these are like the medium-sized fish that will get a bit bigger. But I think over on this side, they do get way bigger than I think over there in these all community on that side. So we'll go over here. These are like a mix. They can be community, but also a bit semi-aggressive, like the angels and stuff like that. I've been watching a lot of videos on angels recently. Angels can go in at a small size and grow up with your textures. As long as they've grown up with them, they won't really go near your other fish. But of course, there's always that chance. If a fish has got a big enough mouth, it will have a snack. We've got a couple of hill streams in there. These Adolphoi cories, oh my god, I love these.
They are nice.
I'm going to be getting a group of them when I set up my tank, 100%. We've got a couple of different Borneo suckers and stuff like that in there too. And then these as well.
Oh, look at them.
Big chunky cories that Steve's brought in as well.
Wow.
So he's brought quite a few of his old breeding groups into the shop.
Yeah. That's a really busy tank, but it's so nice. I love tanks like this because you could look at them, walk away and come back and you'll see something you didn't see before.
Exactly, and you know, it's again one that we keep on top of. When there's a lot of fish, we make sure that the water changes are always happening on these tanks, because obviously there's a lot of stocking, but everyone's fine, no one's beating each other up, they're all nice and peaceful. This one we call the Thunderdome.
Oh, this one here down below.
These are all the type of fish you like, I'm sure. You've got all your birches, you've got all your Jack Dempseys and stuff like that.
Now,
your Fantosas.
I mean, I'm not really into the electric blue Jack Dempseys, but they
Stunning.
are unbelievable.
Stunning fish.
Wow, they are quality, them.
Now, you may not know, but Jack Dempsey's obviously they're named after a boxer.
Yeah.
And they get that name for a reason. They can be a bit feisty, but the aggression spread out amongst all the different fish. We make sure there's a lot of rocks in there and a lot of hardscape to make sure that there's breakage of line of sight and you can dart away from each other.
They're good quality, them, aren't they?
Really stunning fish. And that's what I mean. Someone will come in here and go, oh, why can't I have that with touches? And go, you do know it gets bigger.
Yeah.
But again, we've got to advocate for all types of fish keepers in the end. There's stunning fish, of course.
Yeah, they are good, because I think there's one thing on these electric blue Jack Dempseys. The kind of fish that's really hard to get them up to the 5 inches, and then if they hit 5 inches, they're a bit easier to keep alive. But
yeah.
I see a lot of them, and they're a bit deformed. They are absolutely good quality, then.
Yeah,
and the colour is unbelievable in them.
Well, we've tried the different mix of suppliers and stuff like that, and obviously we've had a really good supplier with the Dempseys and stuff like that, but it's trial and error with every shop. You're always trying different places, seeing what works, what's great for the shop, and for particular suppliers do some fish at a really good size too, so it's always making sure that's a key point. Now, something that I'm not super clued up about,
No, me too.
but every single person that comes in here, the first tank that they probably look at is probably this, with the Malawis. You've got all your peacocks and stuff like that, and not a lot of people know that they love the courgette. Of course, if you're a hobbyist and you've tried plants with your Malawis, you'll end up figuring out that sooner rather than later they'll be gone in a week. Although I've seen the likes of MD fish tanks do as Anubias, because they don't like the taste of it.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
So that's something that I do recommend to people. If you do want your plants, try your Anubias. They might, most of the time they won't go near it. They'll give it a nibble and go, it doesn't taste good.
But on the point of when you say the customers come in and they always notice the tank, now as you know I do a lot of fish shop tours, and Jo, my partner, she comes with me, and for as much as I've got loads of fish, she doesn't really know what they are. She always says about the Malawis, why do we not have them?
The reason you don't have them is that they do not mix with 90% of the fish in the hobby. They do not mix well. I've seen people keep them with clown loaches. It is doable. You can keep them with clown loaches. I've seen people do them with the featherfin catfish, the upside down ones, and the occasional plaque too. But again, you've just got to watch with Malawis. The reason we've got a heavily stocked tank is because when the numbers dwindle, they'll start picking on each other. And then again, we always make sure that there's a lot of rocks for them to dart away into. So a lot of people would look at that and go, that's overstocked. A lot of Malawi tanks have to be overstocked just because you need the numbers with them. But again, they're doing fine, and look at that unit.
That is a unit, I was thinking that.
Well, surprisingly, from my experience, obviously I've been round on my shop tours myself, and I've been round like Blackpool, Preston ways. Malawis aren't that popular further up, I've noticed, but then down here, we can't keep them in enough. They're constantly selling out. I think they're starting to come back in, and when it comes to colours and fish, Malawis are probably one of the closest you can get to marine fish in terms of colour. There's like, they are like iridescent, like they stand out so well.
Stunning.
But again, of course, they need the right water parameters and stuff like that, and they are a bit more of a specialist fish. And again, if you are planning to keep them, recommend maybe do your research if you're going to add anything else in there, but most of the time, Malawis only.
Yeah.
Down here we do have our silver dollars, 50% off today actually. But yeah, these, not with plants as you can see, because they will absolutely devour plants. You'll see that later on with the bigger tank behind me, that we do have Anubias on that wood. We had them in literally for a day and they demolished.
Just with you mentioning the bigger tank behind you, we'll give you a quick look at that, but that's in the next video. So yeah, they don't like the plants. Really nice fish, good schooler, but again, if it were plants, they can be a bit nippy too, and they are closely related to the piranhas and stuff like that as well, so they've got them teeth. So you've got to be a little careful with anything with long fins as well. We've got a nice... Again, a really good diver fish.
Nice chunky placo down there with them as well.
Lovely that.
Lovely one. Now over here we've got our Congo tank with our stairbys. Some discus as well. We've got our mops in the tanks because the stairbys are breeding quite frequent. So we always make sure that we have a mop in, because if there's any chance that we can have any fish captive bred or that have been breeding in our tanks, then we'll pull them out and we'll give it a good chance.
No brainer.
Growing them out and then obviously putting them back in store. Some of these have been brought in by Steve, so these are giants.
Them, aren't they?
Yeah, they're about 5 years old. You can see the size difference between them ones and them, but they're the same price. They were from his breeding group at home, so they're around like 5 years old.
Probably the biggest stairbys I've ever seen them.
Yeah, they're huge, aren't they?
That one especially.
And then we've got these Congo tetra, which I think are massively underappreciated.
I agree.
They're
stunning.
One of the best tetra in the hobby in terms of colour. The males get them long fins. I mean, look at the size.
Yeah, just thinking that these are real big ones.
You can see the difference between what's come in from certain suppliers and stuff like that.
And that one there, they are absolutely massive.
These discus as well, these have been captive bred.
Nice.
These have been bred by a gentleman over the water. He's literally, we had to get in contact with him through his son. He's a very old gent, but he was planning to pack in on his breeding, but obviously we opened up, we learnt about him, took some groups off him, and now he's been breeding fish for us again. And they're really high quality and a really good price for discus too, as you can see there. For captive bred too, and they're absolutely stunning what they are. You've got some starlight bristlenose in here too.
Oh yeah, we were talking about them before.
Really nice bristlenose again, as you were saying. Bristlenose, they're a good way for beginner hobbyists to get into breeding and get a bit of profit on them. That's a nice male start. We're starting to get his bristles there. Really lovely fish.
I love them. I love them on the super reds.
And then down here we've been cleared out of the bigger ones.
Can I see some Ultims?
They are some Ultims. Wild caught Ultims, absolutely stunning.
Wow.
We had some large ones, they've been cleared out. We also have a green phantom down there as well.
Oh, look at that.
Also come in on our wild order.
Do you know, I'd love some Ultims, but because my water's because it's like 0 kh, I'm always very wary. If I did get some, I'd probably have to get tank bred ones, me.
Yeah, well that's why we've got the botanicals in there. This tank was a lot browner, a lot darker, but eventually with the water changes we've slowly been converting them to our water, because we needed to make sure that they come in and they were nice and comfortable. It's always a risk with wild fish that, you know, they may not adapt too nicely to the fresh parameters, but I just love the colour on them.
So you're doing something right, because they look absolutely fantastic.
Yep, and then I'll take you over here as well. So we've got all our shrimp in that.
So this is the shrimp rack you were talking about?
Yeah, we've got the shrimp rack as well. We do have fighters in from time to time. We sold out of them at the moment. Got some crystal reds in at the moment. They're Caradina. A lot of people, and from my experience as well, say that Caradina is a really hard fish. Shrimp to keep. But It depends where you are, first of all, and second of all, they're not as difficult as made out to be. I've got two friends, my friend Johnny, who's up in Maidenhead, Blackpool. He's been keeping them in his tap water perfectly fine. But then a lot of people say you need the RO water, you need all this. We've been keeping them in our tap water and they've been perfectly fine. Like they're doing great in here. Of course, they're a lot slower breeding than your Carradine, and you can keep them with the Carradine, Neo-Carradine, sorry. So we've got the really shrimp, the black shrimp, and then we've also got some rare shrimp here too. They come in mini fan shrimp. Let me just have a little look. Yeah, there you go. So the mini fan shrimp, it's very similar to bamboo shrimp, where they've got the little fans, but they don't get much bigger than what they are. And they are like a filter feeder, so they'll grab little particles out of the water column.
Oh, right.
And that's how they feed, compared to like normal shrimp, where they'll just peck off the bottom or any surfaces. So as you can see, there's some bamboos in the corner there.
They're big.
Nice and chunky, them ones, and they will get bigger as well. We've also got just the normal Neo-Carradine on the bottom too. So you've got your yellow fires, your blue diamonds, your orange fires, and then your Bloody Mary shrimp as well. And then a good selection of our substrate. We do have that scattered around the shop anyway.
I love this stuff, Unipack. I always use Unipack. I made the mistake of using some play sand, and it's the worst thing that I ever did.
I tried play sand and it got clumpy from my experience anyway. I don't know why. I think maybe I even had Corys and bottom feeders turn it over.
Oh, it's dead heavy.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we've got we've got the rest of our plants here, some mosses as well. We've obviously had a big clear out yesterday. And then right here we hatch live baby brine every day. So that's how we feed our fish in the shop.
That's different.
Yeah, having them in there, it's a good way to show customers as well that it's quite an easy thing. You just need to use your 2 tablespoons of aquarium salt, and then you let it sit for 5 minutes, dilute, and then you put your brine shrimp eggs in. And then we have one for the morning, one for the evening, and then we do that every single day. So it's a thing that we're able to do in the shop, and then someone wants to ask for some, we'll also bag some up as well. And there's our little plaque as well. That's been made by Aquascape in Liverpool, Scoutscaper on Instagram. That's a live moss ball that he's made for us.
Brilliant,
and it's stunning. We have ordered a light for that. We're just waiting for that. With a really stunning little mural, amazing. So we're very happy with that one. Some drawings as well from Ian Fuller. The man who's got a corridor named after himself, and he describes a lot of them too. I got the pleasure.
Corridorus,
I got the pleasure to meet him at the recent catfish auction.
Seen you there, seen your video,
That was really nice to go and visit there and pick at some people's brains. But yeah, that was just the little rundown. We've got all the products here, some catfish caves. They've been handmade as well, them catfish caves. Who were they made by?
Who?
The catfish caves.
Nature to Aqua.
Yeah.
Are they a little business, are they then? Or?
Yeah, they're based in Poland.
All right.
So you can probably see, I'll show you that some of these caves, they've still got fingerprints on. Look, you can maybe see the occasional fingerprints here and there around the caves.
Oh yeah?
They've all been handmade. And then EBO as well, Steve's own brand as well.
Yeah, I did some of that on the channel. He sent me some food a bit back.
This is really good stuff in my opinion. It's a good general feed for all your fish and your tank.
Do you remember my Trimac? So I had a Trimac and he wouldn't eat. So when I say he wouldn't eat, obviously he would only eat a carry. I had him 5 years, and all he would eat is a carry. So Steve sent me some of this EBO food and he loved it.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff, honestly, and there's a good selection of different types of foods specialised for certain fish. And from my experience of using it, like you said yourself, I've got Scarlet Badders, the little nano predators, and they're usually really fussy. They don't take dry food at all. I've been keeping them on that and a bit of live food and
really good stuff.
They nail that, and they won't go near anything else now, so I'm quite happy with that I can give them some dried food and be happy to give them that, because as the lazy fish keeper, sometimes you don't want to be constantly. I am
definitely that person.
Giving them that food, but yeah, we've also
got. And then talking of a carry,
yeah, we stock different range of different lines and products. Obviously the Hugo Kashimi, the Fluval, we've got your API, your Prime and stuff like that. So yeah, we also have some Denolay products as well for the planted fish keepers and all the fertilisers too. And we got a range of different stuff back here too, but yeah, swap. Yeah, we've also got a load of botanicals too. As I was saying to you earlier, some fish keepers like myself, I've got a 90 litre tank that accidentally become black water, but
Yeah. It's good stuff though, isn't it? It's just so beneficial. So it looks good and it's just so beneficial for your water and your fish.
So many health benefits for fish. Like it prevents a lot of diseases. It keeps them healthy. It also, you know, has an impact on breeding too. It promotes a lot of breeding, and then some fish like hiding or grazing on some of the botanicals too. So it's always good to have that in your tank, in my opinion, anyway.
Wicked. Well, that's it. That's the shop tour done. So thank you, Adam, for taking us round.
No worries. You're welcome.
And we'll obviously feature the other 2 big tanks in the next video.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, thanks a lot, and I'll see you on the next one.
See you later. Thanks for watching.